In this video, you'll learn how to reach max credits in Forza Horizon 5 legitimately, and without making too much effort. No glitches, no exploits, no modded accounts, and no long races to repeat over and over again. But first, make sure you have some credits, because you'll need some in order to proceed. In Forza Horizon 5, there's a secret reward that's given to players who have popular tunes, which allows them to sell cars in auction house for 20 million credits. There's no official information about the specifics for Forza Horizon 5, but assuming it works like the previous game, if the sum of downloads, uses, and likes of all the shared tunes reaches 50,000, the player gets what we could call a legend tuner status, and from this moment on, any car player modifies can be sold for 20 million credits. The last game to explicitly show legend tuner status in-game was Forza Horizon 3, but since then, Forza Horizon 4 and 5 have hidden this status, while the benefits remain there. We'll focus on tunes here, but it also applies to paints, though the specifics won't be covered here. The first step is choosing the cars you will tune. The key here is focusing on the so-called trending vehicles, like just-released cars, or cars people will be using in seasonal events. For example, you can take a look at Festival Playlist to identify potential cars people will be using in its events, and create tunes targeted for them. Note you don't need to be so picky about doing a perfect tune. The game has a big amount of players, so there's a high chance your tunes will be downloaded by someone, even if you just upgrade the parts. But obviously, if you can make your tune to stand out in some way, it will be better for you. Just don't restrict yourself to the trending cars, create and share tunes for other vehicles as well. The more tunes you share, the better download numbers you'll have. You can tune the barn finds, and some other popular or key cars, like Forza Horizon 5 cover car, the Mercedes-AMG 1. To somewhat check your progress into the road to legend tuner status, pause the game, and go to the Creative Hub. The number you see next to tunes probably refers to the download only, so you cannot determine if you reached the target, unless this number shows 50,000 or a greater value. But it's possible to assume if 25,000 people downloaded your tunes, they'll probably use them, so you might be very near the goal. By clicking tunes, you can see your shared tunes sorted by popularity, so the first one in this list is the most popular. And if you click tunes and select some tune, you should see the number of downloads, uses, and likes it has. There's another way you can count downloads, uses, and likes your tunes have. It's through daily payouts in Game's Message Center. But it can be a long process to count them all, depending how often you open the game per day. Anyway, when you believe you reached legend tuner status, take some cheap car, apply any modification on it, and try to sell it in auction house. If the buyout price is 20 million, congratulations, you made it. Now comes the fun part, buying the right cars, the ones people will actually buy for 20 million. You're about to see some examples with cars that are rare as of now, but keep in mind they might not be rare anymore by the time you are watching this video, so it's important you can learn to identify by yourself what cars are currently rare. A good way to identify a rare car is determining whether a single player can get a duplicate of it outside of auction house. If a duplicate cannot be generated, the car is probably rare. The odds are most players will collect as much different vehicles as they can, but if they get a duplicate car in an accolade prize, or a gift drop for example, they will probably sell it in auction house. But cars that can only be obtained once are the best candidates to be rare, because there's no other way players can get duplicates, except if they buy them from auction house. If you go to Festival Playlist, take a look at the exclusive cars, as they will probably be your target. You can look at exclusive cars from a past season, because they can only be obtained from auction house. That is, at least until they reappear again in some future event. Also, there are cars that are exclusive car collection prizes. Cars exclusively available from Forzathon Shop can also be rare. Cars available only from wheel spins can be rare for a short period of time, but as soon as players start to get duplicates from wheel spins, the auction house can be saturated with them, so it's better focusing on rarer vehicles. To verify whether the car is rare in auction house, simply search for it there. If the results are none or just a few, you can be sure the car will sell for 20 million. Now to buy a specific rare car, you must be patient and fast, because it can be sold almost instantly if it appears at a low price. First, find out by how much this car can be normally sold. If you have the specific car, it's easy to find out the regular max buyout price. Just reset its upgrades and try to sell it. The buyout price will then appear. In case you don't have the car, you can just search it in auction house and keep refreshing the page until some car appear with a low buyout. Be aware it can take some time though. After you find out the max buyout price, search the car in auction house and set the max buyout to a value slightly greater than the car buyout price, in order to account for possible upgrades the car might have. But be aware car buyout prices can change over time, so you are free to test and experiment what works best for you when searching, based on the profit you plan to have. Higher buyouts can increase search results, but you might end up buying more expensive cars. As long as you don't search for cars with a buyout of 20 million, you should be good. Now keep refreshing the page until a car appears, and once it does, buy it as fast as you can. You need to be patient here, but a good tip is there are rare cars that appear more often in auction house than others, so search for different cars in order to feel what cars are easier to get. For example, as of November 19, 2021, if we search for DeLorean DMC, it often appears at low buyout prices, so it's easy to buy a lot of them in no time. When you finally buy the amount of rare cars you want, it's time to sell them. To be able to sell them at 20 million credits, all you have to do now is making any performance modification in the car, except applying tunes created by other players. The best and fastest way is changing some tuning value, like tire pressure. But you can also load some tune of yours that has default parts. If your tune have upgrades, you must pay in order to install it in the car. Once you're done, create the auction. As these cars are rare, as long as you set the buyout to 20 million, they will sell regardless of auction duration or starting price. But if even so you want to maximize your chances, set the auction to last 24 hours, and specify the lowest starting price. Just keep in mind the auction house has a limit of 25 listings per day. However, there's no limit in the number of cars you can buy. Even so, it's best to avoid holding a lot of rare cars without selling them, because Turn 10 might gift rare cars for all players anytime through in-game messages. If that happens, the car won't be rare anymore. Also, there's a fee for selling cars in auction house, so when a person buys your car for 20 million, you'll get about 17 million credits instead. Now it's all up to you. Have a nice day.